residents to another of our edition of Talk of the Town with Supervisor Dick Thurston. Today I'm honored to have one of our town staff with me, as we've been trying to do throughout the course of our programs, is introduce different activities over the course of each year. And today I have Cheryl Migatz here to talk with us about summer camp. Cheryl's been, how many years have you been with us now?
I've done 3 seasons, but 4 years because we didn't have camp in 2020.
So, we hired Cheryl, 4 years ago to be our summer camp director. And in fact, what I wanted to do when we brought her on, and we'll talk a little bit about what she's done, her background, etc. But it was to upgrade our program, for our summer camp. I have been a strong proponent for well-run, organized summer camps throughout my life. I've benefited from it myself, whether or not it was private camp, church camp, or Boy Scout, camp. I've been through all those. And we decided that we did not want to continue to have a reputation years ago of being kind of a babysitting service, and to having something meaningful. So when Cheryl came on board, we set upon the path, myself, Jessica Fulton, who's our recreation director, and Cheryl, to upgrade our program in all aspects of it, and we'll talk about that. And thank goodness we did, because when COVID hit us, and as Cheryl just said, during the first lockdown year of COVID in 2020, we could not do anything, although we did have some distance learning and other programs that we used over the internet. But because we had probably, well, I would say not even probably, I take great pride in the fact that I think we had the best in class of summer camps. What that means is that also we have continued to pass with the highest marks our health, Department of Health, and other tests to make sure that it's a safe environment, for our young folks. And that was significant, last year, because we were one of the few camps that were open right as COVID started to come out.
There were more camps that were open last summer. We did, though, have a great summer where we had no cases of coronavirus in camp, and that did hamper some of the other camps.
In
last
2021,
summer.
we were, also having a program that we, could take pride in. And last summer, and we'll talk a little bit about kind of the protocol that we go through each year. So, we were able to offer a program. We did, have some restrictions on it, but it was live, and that's something we take great pride in. So we've been working on that this year, particularly because we know that so many young folks, as well as older folks too, have gone through some mental stress, during the year. And why don't we start, Cheryl, with first just introducing yourself. You've been from the region, the town, you're quite actively involved, but give a little bit of your background that, we're quite happy to have Cheryl because we think she's very well qualified for the position.
Sure. My husband and I moved to this area from Pennsylvania in 1996, and I have a history of education and summer camp programs. I taught in Pennsylvania high schools for a number of years, went back to do graduate work, and then started teaching on the college level. And in 1984, I think, I was with one of my high school athletes at the state track meet. And I ran into my high school algebra teacher who was there with his athletes. And he said to me, "Hey, what are you doing this summer? I'm looking for some people to come and help out at summer camp because I've got a new program." And so I worked with him for 7 years, and then I also directed Girl Scout camps. I've worked with the Fresh Air Fund at Camp Mariah, the YWCA in Poughkeepsie when it was open. I ran summer camp there for 2 years. And it's just a nice blend because I have the educational background, so I can bring in some learning experiences to camp.
Right.
and I have a lot of experience creating programs outside that are fun and exciting for the children.
Yeah. So we hold our summer camp presently at Martz Field. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the facilities, and particularly for parents that might be interested in sign up. We'll talk more about the program as well later.
Sure. Martz Field is a great location for summer camp. We have a lot available to us out there. We have a baseball field. We have a large open field area. We have basketball courts. We have a children's playground. We have another area that is blacktopped where we can do different games. You know, we'll take chalk over and draw game boards and things. We have access to the tennis courts when tennis instruction and pickleball league aren't going on. And one of the things that we did last year, because you brought up the COVID restrictions, we were trying to find ways. We had to, at the beginning of the summer, divide our camp into 3 separate cohorts.
Right, exactly.
And in order to keep them socially distanced, we were able to work with the highway department to put in crosswalks.
Yep.
And with the recreation department to give us access to another area across the street where we have access to the sand volleyball courts and picnic tables and a nature area. And so we really have quite a variety of things that we can do. We also have access to the pavilion so that we have a nice area where the campers can go and have their lunch. On rainy days, there's enough space there that we can do programming and continue to be open.
So for residents that aren't familiar, the Martz Field complex is located over on Pye Lane and Montfort, correct? So right almost at the edge of the town, not too much further across the street, Sprout Creek is located. In fact, the bridge that crosses on Montfort is the dividing line of the town. And so, but the facilities, as Cheryl just mentioned, we do have this wonderful pavilion there. You know, we also have water that comes in, to the facility. We have a storage area. We have an area for our medical kits in case there's any injuries. We're certified. Actually, I think do extremely well in that area as well. So the activities are multifunction. Why don't you talk about some of the activities that you build into the program each year?
The variety of activities that we provide is based a lot on the staff that we recruit, because we have a lot of young people who come in who have their own areas of interest and experience. And when we have counselors who have an interest in something like drama or a particular sport, we can add that into our program. But basically, we divide our campers up into groups according to grade level. And we do some structured activities throughout the day where they'll rotate from one activity area to another. They can do some sports, games, crafts. We also have all camp activities where there's an option for children who want to participate and an alternate activity for those who don't, where we can do some wide games across the field. On very hot days, we do water activities so that we can cool the campers down and keep them comfortable. We also, once a week, do, in weeks 2 through 6, we do an out-of-camp trip. We're doing some interesting things, like we're going to go to the movies, hopefully to see the new Minions movie this summer. We're going to go out to East Fishkill and play miniature golf at a really wonderful facility, stop for ice cream on the way back. Every year we go down to Spins Bowling and the campers get a chance to bowl. I'm excited that the Renegades are having their camp day again this summer, so we'll be able to take campers to a day game. We're going to do something new. We're going to take our younger campers out to Millbrook for the first time so that they can tour the Trevor Zoo and see the animals. And then we're going to take our older campers out to Wilcox Park, where we're going to have a disc golf tournament on the county disc golf course. And then we also have other events, like we'll do a food day every week where we'll bring in pizza some weeks. Kentucky Fried Chicken is a big hit. And we did Chinese food last summer as well. So we're going to do that this summer. And we're also going to try to bring in some guests with programming, like I'm trying to get in touch now with the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office to come in and do a canine demonstration.
Okay, good. Well, that's, so as you can see, we have a variety of programs, but there is a plan, there is a schedule that Cheryl, puts together. So it's not just thrown together, but it's certainly oriented toward helping to develop the various skill sets, whether it's mental, physical, social, of our young campers. So what are the ages, and you mentioned something about grade groups. So why don't you describe
Right.
how you break it up with starting age and the last age?
Sure. Camp eligibility starts at 5. Now, we've been contacted already by a few parents who have children that are 4 going into kindergarten in the fall who'll be turning 5 over the summer. So when those parents contact us, we're setting some slots aside so that when that child turns 5, they can start camp right away.
Okay.
So our oldest campers are 13. So some of them are 8th graders, some of them are starting high school. And we break them up into groups. We have a kindergarten, first grade group where we engage in a lot of activities to get them ready for the social setting of school and for some of the hands-on activities they'll be doing. We have a group for 2nd and 3rd graders, one for 4th and 5th graders, and then our older group is for 6th through 8th grade. And one thing that I do want to mention is you mentioned about some of the difficulties that we're seeing children having because of the disruption of the 2019, 2020, and 2020-21 school years. And we did see some of that in camp last summer. We had an increased number of children who had difficulty relating to others. And so we spent a lot of time and did a lot of work to help the children that we had in camp get ready for school.
That's right.
And to be able to work together to solve their own conflicts, to be used to being in a large group again. And so I think we really did some work in that area with our campers.
And when you may have a challenging situation, you also talk with the parents and you have
absolutely.
a process that you go
we
through.
We try to work with parents as a team to solve some of these issues. And in fact, some of the families that we have the greatest supports from are families of children who had some difficulties, and we work together for the best interest of the child. And they're some of our most loyal families.
And we look forward to them coming back each year until they meet the age cap, and also having their brothers, sisters, others, to come along. Tell us a little bit about the health, safety, some of the testing certification we have to go through, passing, so that the parents know that we do look after whether or not it's a bee sting or, unfortunately sometimes we might have a broken bone and we immediately take care of that. Why don't you describe from the certification process, the review, to what happens if we have an injury?
Sure. Parents might not be aware, but all of the town camps and private camps have to be issued a permit by the Department of Health in order to operate. And there's a long process that we have to go through every year with a lot of paperwork. We have to do a physical inspection of the camp with one of the health inspectors. We have to come up with a safety plan, just like the school districts do, to deal with our plans for mitigating any communicable diseases, any outside threats from weather, just general safety. And then one of the great things about the town of Wappinger is that every camp has to have a certain number of people who are certified in first aid. And for the certification requirements from the health department, it has to be not just standard first aid and CPR. It has to be the higher level, more toward emergency responders. And the town of Wappinger has been great in allowing us to offer training to all of our staff. So we've had summers where 100% of the staff has been first aid and CPR trained. We have an area in our camp building where we have storage cabinets on the wall where everything is organized. Sometimes we have campers who have medications that they need to take. We keep the doctor's orders and that child's medication under lock and key there for when they need
And
it.
we have refrigeration. And
We have refrigeration. Sure, we have had children who were diabetic.
Right.
That parent would need to come and administer their insulin, or if they were, like a 13-year-old might be able to do it themselves, but it would need to be refrigerated, and so we have secure refrigeration there. We have a log where we keep track of everything, every cut, every bruise, every bump, every complaint of a tummy ache, and anything that is concerning. For example, if a child has a head injury,
Right.
or we have had broken bones, we notify the parent immediately, and in the event of broken bone or another emergency, we also notify EMS right away.
Right.
And if it's something minor that we think is something that the parents need to take a look at, like maybe an insect bite or something, we'll let them know when they come and pick up their child at dismissal.
Yeah. So we go out of our way, because we will look after the health, safety, welfare of our, young folks that come in there. Also, our staff counselors, counselors. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them? And are we still looking for new
Yes.
counselors as well? So why don't you talk a little bit about that part of the program?
Sure.
And what we're doing right now is we're trying to recruit some more.
We're always looking for new staff members to apply, because we want to ensure that we have the best and most qualified staff that we have. We are looking for responsible, mature, energetic high school and college students who are 16 or over. And we're looking to have a diversity of our staff in terms of skills and abilities, but we really want people who want to be there interacting with children, because it doesn't reflect well on us, and it's not safe for the children if we have people who are just there to pick up a paycheck and want to sit there on their phone all day. We want people who really love children and want to be interacting with the children throughout the day.
And we screen them, and if we
yes.
have a difficult one, say from a previous year, then they're not invited back.
Absolutely. Correct? And that is part of the process. We do reference checks on every candidate who applies. Everyone that we hire, we have to do a check with the state on the child abuse and sex offender databases, and so everyone is thoroughly vetted before we bring them into camp.
So actually, Cheryl's responsibility, along with Jessica, is a full year, around the year, program. And in fact, we were very fortunate when we had to shut down camp because of COVID, that we were able to keep Cheryl on board, to help us with a lot of our COVID protocol, which meant that we were able to ensure that she could continue on with us as the director of our program. When does camp occur? What are the hours? Is there a fee? So tell us a little bit about those details.
We start the week after school is out.
Okay.
So this year it'll be on Monday, June 29th, I believe it is, and then we go to mid-August. We finish on August 12th this year. And that gives families a chance for family vacations at the end of the summer, and for everyone to get ready to go back to school, because we do have the reality that a lot of our camp counselors are college students, and they have to go back to college in the middle of August. Our camp day runs from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but we have extended hours available for families that need it for a slightly higher cost, where they can drop their children off as early as 8 o'clock in the morning and they can stay till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Excuse me. I know that one of the great things is we are keeping the cost of camp the same this year as it was last year, so inflation is not impacting our prices. There are very reasonable prices that are listed for town residents and non-residents. I believe we start at $450 for the entire summer. We don't charge by the week like some programs do. So
and the day trips are built into
the day trips are at a slightly extra cost. Some of our trips are as low as $5.
Okay.
I think our most expensive is the Renegades game. That's
Yes,
$12
correct.
because that's the ticket price we're being
Right.
charged. And our food days that I mentioned, that's an optional program where if campers choose to participate in that program, it's a small cost, usually $5 to $7.
As Cheryl mentioned, we do not pass off anywhere near the full cost of camp, to the families, and the town board has been extremely supportive and trying to, especially during these last few years, make it as easy as possible. So that's why the town board decided at Cheryl and Jessica's recommendations not to increase the fees because we're still suffering, especially with inflation, what it is. We keep the equipment up to date. We replace the equipment regularly, right? You have a
Absolutely.
whole variety of things. So
I just put in my order in February for some of the new sports equipment for this summer. One of the things that we ordered are the official disc golf discs because the ones that you buy at the store to throw around your backyard as a family, they don't work as well in disc golf because the weight and aerodynamics, it's very complicated. One thing that the town did last summer that really helped, I think, in helping us with the health issue is we used to have a standard water fountain, and we took that out and replaced it with an area where the children can bring their own refillable water bottles and safely refill the water bottles.
Right.
And we are always working very well with Steve Frazier and his crew that anytime we see anything that might be a potential danger or something that needs to be taken care of, he comes out and his staff fixes it for us.
And I know we do take a questionnaire at the end of the season to find out if there's any areas of improvement. We're constantly looking at it. Since Cheryl is involved with teaching in the school district, we have the best of the resources that have been available to our community. And as I said, myself and the board really look at this as one of the most important programs that we have to offer within our community. So please, go to our recreation department website. You can find all the information that you need to know. Registration's still open, but remember, at the end of June, June 27th, 29th, that those dates is when it begins. So I know it feels quickly and very quickly, in fact.
And we also have on that same website a link for our staff application form where anyone who's interested in joining us out at camp can apply, and we're going to start the interviews in that process on April 15th.
Okay. So if any parents have a question about summer camp, then please reach out to us, Cheryl, Jessica, even myself, and we can fill you in more information. If you'd like to see the Martz complex where we hold the camp, then you're more than welcome to do that as well. So we look forward to a great camp season, and please consider enrolling your children into the program. We look forward to seeing you there at Martz Field. And I think you also end up the program with parents, a barbecue and some
That's what we're
activities, right?
looking to see if we can do that this year. Last year, because
I think we should be able to, this year. So please come on out. See, it is one of our many activities, but perhaps the most important one in the summer. And just speaking of activities, just want to remind everyone, we have a very active, I think almost every weekend, certainly during April, every weekend is covered with different activities for all ages, ranging from the spring festival, egg hunt, Easter egg hunt, some call it, to the 5K run walk. The Easter egg hunt's on April the 9th. The 5K run walk, remind everyone, is on the 16th of April. 23rd we'll be having our Earth Day activities, and there's a crafts fair, at the end of April on the 30th of April. So, please come on out, to all those events, and interested in summer camp, get your registration in. If you have any seniors, high school, college-age students that would like to earn a little bit of money. More importantly, learn some good skill sets and helping our young people cope with the changing environment. Come on out, and thank you. Thank you for your support for the town, our community, and we look forward to seeing you soon.